about who to complain about you. You know what I'm saying? I'm complaining to her about you. My ears are hearing it, and if I believe like peace is a word, if my body had peace, my body is gonna do do what it's called to do. So if I say an ugly word, my body is gonna hear it. What is my body gonna do? It's gonna do the ugly word, but on who? On me. That's why the greatest commandment is like, you love yourself. You know what I'm saying? You know, because if you do it to yourself, you're gonna send the energy out to other people. So that's one of the sabotages. Poor time management, right? How come we can't embrace, what we do in life, our jubilee, become whoever we are and get the best out of life? Time management. And time is life. Time is not money. There's nothing like money out there. There's nowhere where you say, I'm going to give you money. It's time, And when you cannot manage your time, you really cannot create. I've gone through that. There was a time when I managed my time so well. I mean, this book is a big book, and I wrote it in 7 months. Took a little more longer to edit it and all of that. But there was a time when I wasn't like really managing my time well, and I went for a while I wasn't being creative. I had to get a coach also. I'm trying to get somewhere like, why am I going through this? It's just that flow. So I have a program called Lifestyle Management, where I really want people to manage their time, manage their life, and create balance. Because I've seen a lot of like church women get divorces and bad relationships because they spend more time in church and at work, and they think that is it, but there's nowhere it's written that is what you really have to do. You have to balance and you have to create balance. Don't get married to somebody when you don't think you're gonna be able to spend time with them. Don't like hold somebody up, don't waste their time. So so you have to try to redeem your time. And there are processes you can do and set into place, but it goes back to choice. It goes back to decision. Do you really want to do this? You want to be successful. So there are things that you have to do, to be able to do that. Self-doubt. Those are some of the things, When you know who you are, like I gave you a little gist of you being a woman and your power and your femininity and all that. It takes away that self-doubt. Only you are doubting yourself. Self-doubt. So you want to do the things, the homework that will make you get the help, that will make you begin to know who you are so you can create. Because you can create, it's already written, it's already a law. You just have to do the plan. Another thing that holds us back is past life. Things that happen in our past. Oh, I used to be this, or somebody said this to me, blah, blah. We are in another cycle right now. Just like the lady who came by my house that night and said, oh, because of, she told me some really crazy stuff. But once she could let that go of that past, and it happened just within that evening, because the next day she called me and said, oh, I got it. I mean, it was amazing. She was 38 years old. And so that's how quick healing can happen if you want to, because healers are just a channel. True healers are just a channel.
That's right.
But you do your own healing, and the person is facilitating because of some anointing or word or code that they know that you don't know. So that is one thing that holds us back. Afraid to be successful. A lot of people are afraid to be successful. Afraid to look good. Afraid everybody knows them. Like you were talking about the dresses. I was thinking about this lady I coached years ago. One white lady. She came back. She had health issues. And you could see her beauty, her sensuality, her allure. But the way she was dressed, it was like. So I'm like working with her, and it got laid in my spirit. She really wants to be free. But now the whole family and everybody for years has known her like this. So she had problems trying to change. So I said, okay, this is what you do. You do it little by little. Maybe one day you just do your hair a little, cut it like a little shorter. Then you do it again. Because I saw that was a problem. She was afraid to become beautiful. So she had put all these frumpy dresses and stuff like that, being a housewife and all that. But because she could not express her sensuality and her sexuality, because that is the creative power. The most creative power in the world that creates human beings is sex. But it's not really about sex. It's about that energy.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about colors. If you cannot put the colors together, because that's why you see in creation, you have four. Look at the four colors. Green. All those colors were put there for a reason. White. Why do brides wear white? All that stuff. So when you wear certain colors, it activates you differently. You feel it. It's not even about making anybody look good. And once you feel it, you can go and write. You can go on the field and be jogging. You can be like teaching, and you are like right out there because you have used that color that was already put there, and the color had its code that, you know, this is what I'm going to do to someone who is receptive.
Yeah.
You know, you see people who wear certain colors, and they had Christina Aguilera the other day, and her house had the red, and they were, you know, and I understood exactly why she had that red color. You know, they did a little thing with her on TV. I don't hardly watch TV. I watch the news in the morning, and then in the evening I get the news. And they had this little like 3 minutes thing, and I could see why she's so creative. Because color, red is the chakra down here, the reproductive chakra. You know, it's a red. It's powerful. So she needs that. You can see that sensuality. You can see she uses it. She's very comfortable with it. And when that girl sings, you like be thanking God. You be glorifying God, like thank you for giving such an instrument. You know what I'm saying? And so she's using those colors also to activate her power. You know, you might go to her house and say, why it's red? Hello. You know, she knows what she's doing.
Right.
So tap into it. You know, don't be afraid of success. Don't be afraid of who you are. So I have a few tools. I don't know, you know, a few tools else you can use to really now begin to move into who you are. One of the things that you need to do is know your purpose. Know your purpose on earth. If you don't, if maybe the end of this year you should, if you are not sure what your purpose is, please get some help. Start finding what your purpose is. Because you could do everything you want to do and you will not be successful. But when you are in your purpose, work becomes play. Work becomes play, you know, like, because you were sent for a purpose. All of us have a purpose. So when you find that purpose, you write a plan. That is the code. You write the plan. Write it very well. Once you write the plan, you don't know how it's going to get here. Like she said, she had this vision where she wants to have women. She doesn't know how it's going to happen. But the code is, you write the plan. And when you write the plan, out of the words, the words of our master, it will come to fruition. But you know, but that is the code. Get it and write it. Don't get it and put it in your head. I've done that for years. But I realized every time I wrote something down, like this book, I had to write it down. I have a lot of other books in my head. They're not there. So write down whatever. Don't be worried that it's too big, it's too grandiose. You know, this is too big. I cannot accomplish this. I mean, if an African in the village had a car, it's like, oh my God, that car is so big. To that African, it's a big car, right? Then you come to America, somebody has a plane. You know, you would be like, oh, I can't have a plane. You know what I'm saying? But to that person who has a jet fly by himself, that's not a big deal. Then you see what I'm saying? So don't think your plan is too big. It's your mind that is limiting you, because the greater one has, you know, like those who have mansions, it's like, to them it's not big. You know, so don't be worried that this is too big. Write it. Make it bigger, because it's already been written. Once you write it down, it's gonna be accomplished. And if you want to check this ability, you know, if you look at Proverbs 16, and that will help you. Another thing, that you have to really work on, and I do this all the time. I have been working on this for years. Is self-mastery. If you can do self-mastery, know who you are. You know, your vibrations, your energy zones, your time zones, and all of that, and understand you. You are not going to waste your time trying to understand anybody else, because the power is in you. And once you activate it, you're going to affect everybody around you. I have changed even traffic, you know, honestly. But it took years for me to get to that stage where I started owning my own power, because you know, like, you want to feel shy, you want to blend in with everybody, you want to like, oh, I'm not smart. You know, but if you really believe in a higher power, or you dedicate your life, or you say, you know, for whatever reasons, you have to own it. And when you own it, now you have to do a lot of homework. It's a lot of work, but it's beautiful because you will be flowing. Another thing that you have to understand the cycles of life. Get your purpose, self-mastery, and understand cycles. The cycles of life, cycles in your life. Everything is a cycle. Everything is a rhythm. Even what I'm speaking is a rhythm. The heart is a rhythm. The footprint is a rhythm. Morning, sunshine, evening is a rhythm. You see the rhythm? So human beings have a cycle of 7 years. From 0 to 7 is one cycle. You know, 7 to 14 is another cycle. 14 to 21 is another cycle. Like you were talking earlier, when you were young, things were happening. I was like, that's exactly, you know, she's right in line. You remember when you say see at that stage, because at that stage, there are certain things that have already been programmed to happen in a human's body, in a human's growth cycle. And you see when kids hit puberty, the endocrine system and everything else and environment, you know, like when I coach young women about, you know, like sexuality and all that, they're like, oh, I'm not going to have sex, you know. I said, no, but when the hormones kick in, you be like, oh, what a boy, you know what I'm saying, girl? So what do you do at that stage? You know, I'm not going to say because you told me, you know, you're never going to like have sex until you get married. Yeah, but when you get to that stage, it's going to kick in and you're going to be excited and all that. So now I want to give you the tools on how to handle it so that you don't go falling into that, you know, hormonal stuff. Then as you get to this stage, which is 50 years old, because the cycle goes to like 144, but I'm just going to talk about the cycle for the 50-year-old. At that stage, most people are ready to retire, personally and in culture. At the stage when you hit 49, because if you do 777, it will be 49. So 50, you are beginning. You see that? If you add 7, you know, like, you know. So at 50, you hit 49. So at 50, you are beginning. But as you are beginning, what is happening to the human anatomy? It's decreasing. Yes. So you see a lot of men at that stage, like when I listen to some of these talk shows and sometimes just do it for research, the younger girls, older women are looking for younger guys because they're like the men in their 40s, they're not active. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that cycle that is happening. But for us women, because we are part of creation, like in the village, you see the mothers always go to the farm. When I used to live in the city, back in Africa, they'll come visit, they run back to the village to get on the farm. I didn't used to understand that. But as I grew more in my studies and all of that and understanding, they replenish it. They're using the earth and the water, Mother Earth. We are connected, we are sisters. It's a womb, just like we are a womb. So they go and walk on the farm. You know, they take water. That's why sisters will see them bathing, you know, like going to the ocean. Healers know this. As a healer, I mean, you need that. So that's where you get in the energy and the replenishment, or else you're not going to be able to survive. But people take, even the Lord, the Master Jesus had energy zapped from him. They call it, the Christians will call it virtue, but it's all about energy. Everything is really just energy, you know. So if you understand the cycles, it really is very important because even in business, there's a cycle. You know, in a relationship, it's a cycle. In a headache, there's a cycle. Like there's a healer I used to work with in Africa. One time I called him, he almost killed his wife because she had typhoid. So she was at the hospital and he kept telling the doctors to change the medication. So every time I called, he was screaming. So it just got dropped in my spirit that there's a cycle to this illness. So I said to him, don't let the doctors change her medication, because the doctors got upset with him. Because he's too powerful, you know, he's a small guy, but because he's a healer, he has too much energy. The way he speaks just a little like this, everybody feels it. So they got upset. So they're like, okay, if you want us to give her whatever, we'll give. So I'm like, they're going to kill her because they keep changing the medication, but I didn't think about the effect in her body. I said, there's a cycle to this typhoid. So once it starts and you're on that medication, it's going to go through that cycle. And then it's gonna drop. So you let it go. And he got it. But that's why healers need healers, doctors need doctors, because sometimes you need somebody else, you know. If you're the wisest person in your group, you're in the wrong group.
Yes, that's right.
You know, yeah, if you need somebody to pour into you, just like you're pouring into other people, please, you know, find the right people who can move you, get your purpose. Kick out anybody from your group that is not helping you towards this purpose.
That's right.
Because we are here for a mission. We need you. We need you. We need you. Look at what she's done, bringing us here today. Look at the book you're reading. We need that. So if you are like wasting time on the phone, TV, you're not giving what you. Like, you gotta be like you gotta just enrich the cemetery. You know, another tool, like I said, you know. So just a couple more. Forgiveness, letting go, because all these things are real. Like sometimes when I coach people who are having a lot of difficulties, I have to make them see like this anger, like every time they're angry, anger comes and hangs out with them. You know what I'm saying? Every time they're, you know, so imagine all this, like if you say mercy and goodness are following me, they're back. So anger and goodness are following me. You know what I'm saying? So get rid of them. They're blocking.
Yeah.
You're only blocking yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody else you're blocking but you. So release it, let these things go so that you can embrace whatever it is you want to achieve in life. And, you know, gratitude. Gratitude opens doors. Gratitude gets you a lot. And the last thing I want to share is movement. Movement. Movement is so powerful. You know, I'm about to start a program with movement. You know,